All right, what's up, everyone? 4.2 for Math 6, talking about areas of triangles. All right, so here's how I want you to think about triangles. They are half rectangles. Half rectangles. Why do I say that? Because we all know how to find the area of a rectangle. And so if you can find the area of a rectangle, you cut it in half, and all of a sudden you have the area of a triangle. Okay, so we're talking about some ways we look at triangles as half rectangles, okay? So take this one right here. Oops, sorry. Take this one right here, this top one, okay, that triangle. How is that a half rectangle? Well, okay, you see the base and the height, okay? See the base and the height right here, base and the height. So what rectangle would share that base and share that height? Well, would it be something like this, maybe? That was bad. Yeah? You see that? Okay, so check it out. This triangle outlined in black is half the area of the rectangle that's in green. Why do I know that? Because that right there, I'm going to call that A, it matches that A right there. Okay? So the rectangle has two A's, but the triangle only has one. That section right there we're going to call B. That only has one section. That matches that section B right there. The rectangle has two B's in it, but that triangle only had one. Okay? All right, now how about this one down here? This one takes a little bit of reorienting in your brain. The reason is the rectangle that's going to fit around this one, we remember the base and height are perpendicular to each other, right? So, where would be perpendicular? They'd both be on the, this would actually be the base right there, and that, creating a right angle right there, would be the height. So, the rectangle that would fit around that would actually be here, over to there, and to there. Okay? Those two right there are matching, and those two triangles right there are also matching. You know, excuse my kind of quick drawing there. But you get the idea, okay? So, half rectangles. Triangles are what? Half rectangles. If you can find the area of the rectangle, cut it in half, you have the area of the triangle. All right, so let's check this one out. We're going to find the area of that triangle right there. So, again, triangles are half rectangles, right? So, what does that formula actually mean? Well, if they're half rectangles, then the area is going to be base times height, which is kind of the same as saying length times width, okay? But then you divide it by 2. Why? Because it's half, right? The triangle will be half the area of the rectangle. So take this triangle here. What is our base? Remember, our base and our height are perpendicular, and they form a right angle, which we have right there. So the base I would call 21 times the height of 9, and then we divide that by 2. So order of operations. Remember, fraction bar is a grouping symbol. So let's get the top simplified, and then we'll worry about the bottom, and then we'll worry about both of them at the same time. So what is 21 times 9? Well, remember, that's like 20 times 9 and 1 times 9. So what's 20 times 9? Well, 2 times 9 is 18. So 20 times 9 is 180 plus 9. So it's 189. Okay? So again, we're always doing one step at a time and rewriting. So now we've got 189, and we've got to divide that by 2. All right, that's pretty simple, right? Because we just say, well, 180 divided by 2 would be what? 9. Okay, so 180 divided by 2 plus 9 divided by 2 will give us the same answer. So 180 divided by 2 is 90. 9 divided by 2 is 4.5. So what's our area? Our area is 94.5 centimeters squared. It's as easy as that. And of course, you know, if you can't do it mentally, that's okay. You could always do 189 divided by 2 and kind of do it the long way like that. You'd still get 94.5. Okay? All right, now sometimes we see kind of weird triangles like this. And we're going to find the area, okay? So they give us this as 10, okay? Let's call it our base, and we'll say feet, 10 feet, okay? But remember, the height has to be perpendicular to the base. So the height has got to look something like this, right? It's got to be perpendicular, but it's got to go all the way to the top of that triangle. And currently, it does not. It only goes from there to there. What about here, though? No, still no, and it's not perfect. I need to cut just a little bit off here. It's a bit better. Okay, it's not reaching the top, and then all of a sudden it's reaching the top there, but look, the bottom is outside the base now. But guess what? That's actually okay. Alright, so if that's okay, we'll give this a height here. We'll say it's 8 feet. Okay? So what's the area of that triangle? A equals 10 times 8, base times height, divided by 2. So that's 80 divided by 2, and we know that that is 40 feet squared. So that triangle is 40 square feet. Alright, so I want you to pause the video, try this one, and play when you are done. Alright, so on this one, got to do a little more calculating. We know, again, area of a triangle is base times height divided by 2. Now, on a side note, you can also think of that as base times height times a half, or half times base times height. Okay, there's a number of ways we can actually do that. Okay, you can put the half in the middle if you wanted, but this is my preferred way, so let's roll with that. Base times height divided by 2. So our base is 14.2. Our height is 8.1. So we're going to have to multiply that, but then we're going to have to divide our answer by 2. So 1 times 2 is 2, 1 times 4 is 4, 1 times 1 is 1, add a 0. 8 and 2 is 16. 8 and 4 is 32, plus 1 is 33, and then 8 and 1 is 8, plus 3 is 11. Go ahead and add them up. 2, carry the 1, you get a 10, and so then that's a 5, a 1, and a 1. How many decimal places in our answer? 1, 2. So right there. So our answer is 115.02, correct? Wrong, because we haven't done what? We haven't divided by 2 yet. Base times height divided by 2. Got to do that part. So take that and divide it by 2. Goes into 11 5 times, giving you 10. The 1 left over. Bring down that 5. Goes into 15. How many times? 7 times. It gives you a 14. Bring down a 1. Got a decimal there, so let's go ahead and bring our decimal up. Okay, bring the 0 down. Goes into 10, a nice even 5 times with a 0 remainder. And then you bring down that 2, and we finish out because 2 goes into 2 1 time, and it closes that out. So what is our answer? 57.51. And what are we measuring in here? YD is yards, and it's squared because we're talking about area. Alright, so let's do this problem here real quick. The base and the height of triangle B are twice as long as the base and the height in triangle A. Does that mean that the area of triangle B is twice as large as the area of triangle A? Oh, I don't know. How do we find that out? Well, is the area twice as much? Well, I don't know. How do you find the area of A? Well, the area of A would be, well, base times height, 10 times 7, right? Divided by 2. So that's 70 divided by 2. So in triangle A, that is 35 units squared, okay? So what's the area of B, though? Well, we don't know, but we have enough information to find it because they say the base and the height of B are twice as long as the base and the height in A. So if the base in A is 10, what's the base in B? 20. If the height in triangle A is 7, what's the height in triangle B? It's twice that. It's 14. Okay. So now, though, we've got to figure out, is the area of B twice as much as A? Well, how do we find that? Well, you got to take base times height divided by 2. So here we do a base of 20 times a height of 14, and we divide that by 2, right? So 20 times 14, well, 10 times 14 is 140. So 20 times 14 would be double 140, and that's going to get you 280, right? But when you take 280 and you divide it by 2, guess where you get back to? You get back to 140. Okay, and so that'd be 140 units squared. So that's for B. Okay, so I'm actually going to write that in there in green so we can compare 140 units squared. So here's the question. Is this twice that? No, it's not. Even though we double the height in B and we double the base in B, the area here in triangle B is more than double the area of A. In fact, it's actually how much? How many times does 35 go into 40? Well, 35 times 2 is 70, and 70 is half of 40. So 35 times 4 would give you 140. So the area of B is actually 4 times the area of A, even though we only doubled the base and double the height. So really, all in all, the answer to our question is no. All right, so that's all I've got for you guys. Thanks for sticking with it. I'll see you in class.